It's the simple things that make the best moments. So enjoy till the last drop.
What's going on, good people? This is Lady Sarah here, y'all. I am back. I'm back with Brew Between Real Everyday Women. What's going on, y'all? It has been a minute, and I said today has to be the day. This is the week that I have to come back. For those of you that are watching, that are tuned in, or if you're watching this a little bit later, first of all, share this post or this message. Go ahead and share that for me. For those of you scrolling that just popped on, what up though? What's going on? This is Lady Sarah, and you have tuned into Brew Between Real Everyday Women. And yes, I have been gone for a minute. Valid reasons though. Valid reasons. For those of you that may know or may not know, I have just recently lost my father. And so was just kind of in that whole process of dealing with that, um, and just needed some time. Needed some time with God, needed some time to myself, because, I don't know any of you that out there that may have lost a parent before. It sucks. Oh my gosh, it is not cool whatsoever. Um, but God is still good. He still gets all the glory, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this whole process. Even in my father's passing, God showed so much love to me through the people around me, my family, my friends, and he covered me with his love and his peace. And I'm so grateful. And it just made me appreciate my life that much the more, and appreciate the life of my father and what he taught me and instilled in me. So I'm back. And I know it's going to be a day-to-day process. Certain things are still kind of hard for me, but I'm pushing through. And I want to thank you all that have called, text, sent messages, cards, flowers, any and everything that you've done. I just want to first say thank you so much, for your love and your support in this time. It just really shows how important it is to me to have a family, to have a community that loves you, because it helps the healing process move along. So I am back, and I'll, sessions later, I kind of talk about some things that I've been going through as it relates to that. But I was encouraged today to do a brew episode. This is episode 15. I didn't want to hold back too much longer, because the word of the day is, I'll come to the front of the class. And this is a grown up word. It's a real woman word. It's a word that people use when they are trying to go somewhere, when they're trying to develop, when they're trying to grow, when they're trying to become better. It's a word that, if you're still trying to figure out life, you probably don't really understand this word, or this word may not connect to you. But the word of the day is accountability. And the reason why I had to do brew today or this week or start it back up is because I have to be accountable for what God called me to do. So most of the times when we hear the word accountability, we automatically think accountability partner. It's so funny because, as my daughter Lovely, who's my engineer back there, and my husband Pastor Damon, they were prepping everything, setting it up, getting the title. And my daughter says, "Mom, what's the title today? You have a title?" And I said, "Accountability." But there's something else I want to put with it. And immediately my husband says, "Accountability partner," because that's normally when we hear accountability, that's the word that comes next. It's accountability partner. And I said, "No, this time it's not about the partner, it's about the individual." So I just said accountability starts with you. Because before you can get an accountability partner, partnering with somebody means that you already believe something, or you're already in it and you need someone to connect with you. It's not two opposites coming together. It's I believe something, I have something that belongs to me, and I'm going to partner with somebody who also believes the same thing about what I have. And so this particular word wasn't about a partner, it wasn't about anybody else, it was about you. It's about me. It's accountability. And we understand accountability when it comes to things that belong to us, things that we own, things that have our name on it. Like, for instance, I'm accountable to my children. Those are my children. I have to, how they develop in a particular manner. I have a portion of, I have something to do with that. I'm accountable to my business. My business has my name on it. There's things that belong to me in that, so I'm accountable for it, to make sure that it does what it needs to do, that it grows. I'm accountable to my kids and make sure that they grow. I'm accountable to my church family and our ministry to make sure that I'm seeking God's word, and I'm, in the face of the Lord to get revelation about what he wants to say to his people, to be an open vessel to speak. So there's things in my life that I'm accountable for, and there's things in your life that you're accountable for. But in actuality, what I really want to talk about is the thief of accountability. But before we go there, I was just kind of researching this word because a lot of times we make so many excuses as to why we can't do something, and we're not accountable because we really truly don't believe that that thing belongs to us. And if I broke down the word accountability, account is to give an honest report. Ability is the power to respond, grow, and improve. So it's pretty much stating that when you are accountable for something and when you have accountability, it's having the courage to be honest and evaluate yourself in the ability to respond with growth. But the problem is that we have this accountability that you should have for the things that have been placed in your hands. But when you don't truly believe that they belong to you, then there's no accountability. And that's why I say that's a real grown-up word. It's a real grown woman word, accountability, because we don't understand that there's things that have been given to us that we're responsible for. And if you don't see that thing out, and if you're not honest with where you are in the situation, there is absolutely no growth that's happening in that particular arena. If you don't feel like that you can be honest with where you are, then you can't grow, and therefore you won't be accountable. I had to come and do this particular episode is because I'm accountable for what has been placed in my lap. I believe and I know that God has given me, just based on my life and the things that I've gone through, he's given me the opportunity. I'm in this studio that he's given me access to be able to share with other women about things that we go through on an everyday basis. But there are some things, the reason why a lot of us cannot be accountable is because of the thief to accountability. And there's 5 things that I kind of want to pull out for you when it comes to the thief of accountability. And there really are very simple things that you don't sometimes even know that you operate in. And it's really where that partner kind of comes in, is they hopefully can see these areas. But 5 thieves to accountability, because it's so easy to attach yourself to something when you're supposed to be doing something. It's so easy to give a reason why you can't do it. Me mourning the death of my father less than 2 weeks ago would have been or burying my father would have been a real good excuse not to have to do this episode today, because I'm still I'm still emotional. I'm still going through things, but I'm accountable for what and the opportunity and the platform that God gave me. So the 5 excuses that we have for stealing your accountability are excuses, pride, isolation, fear, and distractions. If you find yourself in any of those areas, it's going to steal your accountability. We start so many things. Oh my gosh, start so many things. We good for about 3 weeks and we stop. We start so many things. We're good for about a month and a half. Some of you, if y'all real good, you in that thing for about 6 months at the max, and then we fall off. Now, not everybody. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm really only talking to the women that have an issue with their accountability. Why do we continue to start, stop? Why do we continue to do something, go for it, and we can't finish, we can't complete it? Because these five thieves start to come up and we find ourselves in them. First one, excuses. They steal your progress. Anytime you have an excuse, and my father-in-law taught me that excuses are just pretty much a permission slip to fail or to not do it or to not get it done. You will always have an excuse as to why you can't do something that's going to make you grow. Why? Because there's somebody, there's an adversary, there's an enemy, there's somebody, sometimes it's just a straight hater that does not want you to progress. So there's always going to be an excuse as to why you can't do something. Right before we started this, my husband, I was telling him, I was just sitting there just going off like, oh, I just be so tired because when you get home, you don't have to do anything. I got to cook, I got to clean, I got to do this. And he just would just laid it out. He took away all the excuses. He said, I never told you had to come home, cook 5 days a week. I didn't tell you have to clean. You got 3 big kids, able-bodied kids. You know, we started washing dishes young. They can wash the dishes. They know how to clean. They know how to cook. So he took away all these excuses. And, you know, he said, you even got somebody now washing your clothes. That's just every now and then. It was just a lot of clothes. I needed some help. But he just laid out all the reasons why I can take away the excuses as to why I couldn't do something that I really wanted to do, which is to get in the gym, to get healthy, and to get in shape. So when you take away the excuses, it will help you progress, and then you can grow and become accountable. The second one is pride. Pride steals your wisdom. When you know everything and nobody can tell you anything and you already done that, I've done that before, or I don't need help with this, or I got this. When you have that pride, it automatically is going to steal your wisdom. There's no way that you can grow or develop, or because you can learn something from anybody, absolutely anybody. You can either learn what to do or you can learn what not to do, but you can always learn something from anybody. But when you're prideful and nobody can tell you anything, then as far as your accountability and being wise when it comes to making the decisions, you can just, that's all automatically stolen. Isolation steals your strength. When you are isolated and you put yourself in a box and you put yourself in a bubble, there's no way that you can get stronger. There's strength in numbers. The word even tells us where 2 or 3 come together in my name, I'll be in the midst. And when God is in the midst, you know that there's strength and there's power and there's joy. There's all kinds of things that comes with that. But when you isolate yourself, you're stripping yourself of strength. You're stripping yourself of the ability to push and to press and to try a little bit harder and to step out and do it again, despite the followers, despite the congratulations, despite the applause. When you isolate yourself, the only person that can answer your questions is you. And the enemy loves when you are isolated. That's when he talks to you the most. That's when he gives you all the things that they said and what's not going to happen. And you remember what happened last time in the past and all these things. So isolation is another stealer to, unfortunately, get you unaccountable or where your accountability cannot be productive. Fear steals your courage. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. When you're afraid of something, when you're scared of something, then you won't be able to do it. Your courage goes down. When you're scared, when you are afraid of their faces, when you're afraid of what they're going to say or how they might look at you, when you're afraid and thinking that you don't have anything to say, then you cannot be courageous. And that's one of the things that's going to help you be accountable is when you have the courage to do it. When you have the courage to sit in front of a camera and talk to hundreds of thousands of people because God told you to do it, it's like, that's a little scary, you know, if that's not something that you're normally used to, but your fear will be a thief of your accountability. But when you are operating in accountability, it gives you that courage to go ahead and do what you've been called to do. And then distractions steal your focus. When you are distracted, listen, distractions come in every way, form, and possible. And then there's the good distractions, you know, the people that are close to you, your family, your assignments, the things that you have to do, your job, when somebody calls you and they need to borrow a couple dollars, when somebody needs you to come pick them up from somewhere, when you walk in the house and the sink is full of dishes, when you go to work and then, you have a caseload of work. I mean, distractions are all around us. Traffic jam, accidents, flat tire, just distractions everywhere. Distractions steal your focus. And this is one of the main thieves of accountability. When you are distracted, when you're not locked in, when you're not focused, you can't be accountable. And that gives yourself a permission slip to not do what you have been called to do, not to be accountable. Accountability sometimes can be a little irritating too. A lot of people don't like to be accountable because it reminds them of their assignment, and they get a little angry. Sometimes, when you have a good accountability partner, um, they don't care about your feelings. I don't care about you being mad. Why haven't you done this? Why haven't I seen the next chapter of that book? Where are you on social media? If this is the platform that you said you wanted to use, why haven't you started that conference or that business or whatever that is? Your accountability partner is the person that reminds you, but you have to be locked in yourself, accountable enough to yourself to be able to push past that, because the accountability is really the avenue that is going to help you to grow. It's that avenue that's going to help you get out of that situation that you're stuck in. And a lot of times we don't understand that not being accountable and using those 5 thieves, sometimes we call that, well, I need to say this, but we call it peace. When you don't have to do anything, and when you're not responsible for anything, and you're not accountable for anything, a lot of people think that they're at peace. Like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to worry about it. If I don't do this, or if I don't go after this, and I don't have to worry about the cause. I don't have to worry about what it's going to look like if it doesn't come out right. And you call that peace. When that's not. That's just the enemy tricking you. You have to be accountable. But before you can be accountable, you have to know that you have something worth being accountable for. You have to believe that that business is in you, that book is in you, that podcast is in you, that whatever it is, you have to believe in your heart of hearts. Now, things might come your way, life for you, and there's things that happen that cause you to, unfortunately, maybe take a couple of weeks off, or not necessarily, or take some time to really get in God's face to find out, okay, where am I missing it at? What has happened? How do I need to heal in this area? How do I need to forgive in this area? How do I need to move forward? And God will give you, he'll give you his word to help you move on past that thing, because the ultimate goal is for you to win and for you to succeed and for you to make it happen and for you to grow. There's been some other things in my life in addition to my father passing that, there was going crazy in my business. Physically, I had some things going on in my body that, was a complete distraction. There was so many areas in my life where things were just happening and popping up. But I knew that I still have to be accountable for what belongs to me. So hopefully this was able to encourage somebody out there to be accountable. Before you get an accountability partner, first be accountable for yourself. Be honest about where you are and understand that you have the ability to grow, to become better, to come out of it, to grow out of it. Accountability. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to live there. That's not your final destination. If you follow us at Live on Purpose Christian Center, I encourage you to go back and check out last week's message. This is just the middle. This is not the end. Don't get stuck in the middle of your story. This is just where you are at this particular moment. This is not the end of your story, but you have to be accountable for what has been placed in your hands. You have to be accountable for yourself and know that there's so much more inside of you. There's so much greatness inside, and you tried it once, and it might not have worked out. It might not have happened, and it might didn't go the way that you wanted it to, but that's just the middle of the story. You got to have something to talk about, or your story will be boring. We like hearing when people adverse through things and they push through things and like, what? That happened to you? Girl, no way. You did that? Oh my gosh. And you made it? Wow. God is good. Maybe I'm going to try it. You know what? I'm going to go after it, because if you made it out, then I can make it out. And that's what it's all about. So, accountability. Say it with me. The word of the day, accountability. It starts with you. So, again, thank you all for hanging out with me for these few minutes. Please, please, please share this episode with someone that you know that you need to be accountable. If you're somebody's accountability partner and you know that person that has been slacking and you've been pushing them more than them, send them this message and let them know that the accountability starts with you, my friend. I'm just the partner. You told me that you needed me to help me push you. This is me pushing you. So, but if you're the person that first needs to be accountable for yourself, leave me a comment. Let me know if you connected with this episode. I'm back. So y'all be seeing me again next week. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and check it out. If you are looking for a place to get fed, if you're ready for the next level in life and you know that God is calling you and you've given him so many excuses, check us out every Sunday at Live on Purpose Christian Center, 31731 Shana Road in Warren, Michigan. We have service every Sunday morning at 10:30. This is my invitation for you to be our guest. So if you want real word, kingdom principles and teaching, and you're ready to go to another level, then join us. Come check us out. But until then, thank you again so much. I'm so happy to be back in the studio. I'm happy to be back and with you all. And that's it, y'all. Guess I'll see y'all next Wednesday.